Hello, Alphas, and welcome to Early Access Podcast, episode 59. I'm your host, as usual, Angelo, and thank you for stopping by, telling a friend, the usual razzmatazz I start these things with. So I hope everybody's had a good weekend so far. I did. I went to doubleheader Phillies game on Friday, and they lost both games, so that wasn't unexpected. They haven't been too great this season. And then, God, what did I do yesterday? I don't even remember. Whole lot of nothing. Oh, I had to work. Yeah, I had to work overtime on Saturday. That's how I like to spend my weekends. But, everybody likes more money. Who doesn't? So yeah, I hope you guys had a lot of fun this weekend. Hope you played a bunch of games. I played a couple games that are coming out. Neither one is in early access. They're both indie titles, though. The first one I'm going to talk about is this game called Skyshine's Bedlam. This comes out on, let's see. Yeah, the 16th, so in 3 days. Indie games don't follow the normal metrics of regular video games, so they come out whenever the hell they feel like it. So this one in particular comes out on the 16th. It's already got the price up, so it's going to be $20, but for the release, it's going to be $16.99, so it's 15% off. Now, Skyshine's Bedlam is a roguelike turn-based RPG. So if you played FTL, it's similar to that, where the only thing that actually carries over from run to run is the ships you unlock. And these, it's called, they're dozers. They're like these, basically, it's an apocalyptic wasteland, so it's like a giant RV with spikes and stuff on it. And as you play through your run, you outfit it with new stuff. None of that carries over either. The only thing that changes is as you unlock new dozers, you get new. You basically get a new class and different starting characters. And each class has their own rule set. Like I think, like the mutants, for instance, every turn they gain a health. The cyborgs, or I think it's the cyborgs, they gain an extra attack power. So it's pretty cool. The art style looks really good. It plays really well. So basically, you have resources that you have to manage. You have to manage food, which they call meat. Never really specifies what kind of meat. Every once in a while, it's some kind of animal. But, if you run out of meat, you start eating the passengers on your ship. So I played like 7 hours of it, and I didn't finish a run. I don't know if maybe because I was playing it on the normal mode or what, but it's a very hard game. But yeah, so you manage your resources. You got your food, you have your fuel, and you have, they're like fuel cells, like energy cells. So what you do is you use the energy cells to upgrade your ship's efficiency and things, like how well it processes fuel, how much food it takes each day, how long it takes your characters to heal, the ones that you take out into the wasteland to actually fight, and it also, what else? You can use them to upgrade how efficient you are with the power cells themselves. So the way it works is you are in your dozer, there's an overworld map, and you click around and you spend fuel and food to travel to these spaces, and as you travel to these spaces, you are collecting more resources, trying to survive to the end of your run. Like I said, I didn't get there, but from what I understand, there is like an end of the run. And ideally, once you continue to get better and better at this game, you're going to want to collect all the stuff. I mean, that's how these kind of games work. It's really cool. It plays really well. All the characters are great. There's a great story. It's weird. It's like this weird post-apocalyptic multi-faction fight. So you're traveling through this overworld map with all these like broken up faction territories, and you're collecting elite units. You're collecting different kind of relics that you use that come in handy later. You interact with different NPCs. If you're watching the video, you'll see like the picture of it. So there is like other interaction outside of just like the battles. The only problem I'm having with this game right now, which it seems the developers are on top of fixing this, so don't let this dissuade you. The game is really good, but what it is like balance stuff. Some things are overpowered, some are underpowered. These are all things that are going to get fixed, I'm assuming, because the developer actively asked specific questions that related to a lot of the balance problems. So I'm assuming within the next couple days I will see another patch for this game before it hits the release on I guess that would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, before it comes out on Wednesday. But yeah, it's actually really great. It seems to be worth the money. Like I said, I already put 8 hours into it. I did get my key from a PR guy. However, I would pay $20 to play this game. Like, would I pay $20 to go out and buy it? Yeah, absolutely. It's just an interesting take on that type of game, and like I said, this one has a lot of character to it, and it's a lot of fun. Albeit very hard, but hopefully I get to see a little bit more of it, because currently all the extra dozers that you can unlock, I think there's 6 of them, you can't actually unlock them until the game goes live. So right now they're just balancing the starter crew that you get in dozer, so you can, I guess, so that since that's the one most people are going to be playing the most out of the gate, they want to make sure that that balances well against the rest of the game itself, and then I guess they'll go from there, just to make sure, because I guess that's the baseline for everything else. So they're going to balance around that. Like I said, it's an awesome game. I've had a ton of fun with it. It's hard. There's a lot of challenge to it. The strategy aspects of the actual combat is actually really good. You're moving around turn-based strategy style around a grid, collecting resources on the grid as well to take back with you so you don't die. And yeah, and then your run ends if you either A, finish the main objective, which I believe is there's a final fight that you get to, or if you lose and you fail your run, if you run out of fuel, you will fail. If you run away from too many battles, you will run out of passengers on your dozer, and you will fail. And if you run out of meat, eventually what will happen is you'll start eating your passengers, and then the same thing happens. Once you run out of passengers, you'll fail. I don't know if there's any other fail states. I haven't run into any other than those 2. But yeah, just go check it out. The content's there. You're going to get your money's worth out of it. So if you like roguelikes similar to Faster Than Light, I think that's what it was, Faster Than Light, right? FTL. It's Faster Than Light, right? FTL. Yeah, Faster Than Light. That's what I thought. Then you'll most likely enjoy it. It's got a great art style. Reminds me of like a Borderlands. It's hand-drawn art. Looks really cool. Go check that one out. Alright, the next game I played is this game called Albino Lullaby, and I literally just got done playing it. I only played a half an hour of it, and I can already tell you that I'm going to enjoy this game a lot. It's a horror adventure game by the studio EAP Law. So, as I explained in that video less than like half an hour ago, EAP Law was started by a guy named Justin Papas, and he was a level designer on BioShock Infinite and the most recent reboot of Tomb Raider. And the studio is comprised of ex-industry vets that worked at other AAA titles like Borderlands, Lord of the Rings Online, and they're from studios like Warner Brothers, Hasbro, Harmonix. So it's got a lot of AAA talent in there, and it shows in what I've played so far of this game. So Albino Lullaby is a first-person horror game that doesn't rely on jump scares. And they actually tell you that in the description for the game. It's more of a atmospheric, story-driven horror game. In the 30 minutes that I played of it, it's super creepy. The sound design's great. The art style is awesome. It reminds me of Borderlands. It's got that sketchy. It's not cel-shaded, but it feels like a Borderlands where you got hand-drawn art. as image, like as the image maps over everything, so it looks sketchy. Like if you see it, you can see like, okay, this looks like it was drawn and shaded in. It looks really cool and it sounds really good, and the story is just so fucking bizarre so far. All I know is that there's children and they are being tortured, and you are stuck in this shifting world that looks like it's something out of Willy Wonka or Harry Potter. So like you're pushing buttons and like the rooms start to shift around you in real time, and you know you're running into these weird thumb-looking creatures. That's right, they just look like thumbs with faces on them, but scary faces. And it's just really creepy. The ambiance definitely lends itself to being scary without scaring you. You know, you're not going to come around a corner and have something jump out at you, but you always feel like something's going to jump out at you. It does a really good job at playing the audio sound effects, and just the voiceover is great. Just everything it does really well in a way to make you think that you're going to, you know, be scared by something that's just jumping out at you, but it hasn't happened. And I'm glad that they push that line. Like you feel like that's about to happen all the time, but it's just not going to. And even though you know it's not going to, you still feel like it. So far, I'm really enjoying the game. In the first 30 minutes, I wandered around a little bit, I found a key, I pushed some buttons, I read some creepy notes, and you're trying to piece together what this story is. And honestly, I have no idea. But I guess that's the whole point. Another cool thing about it is that it's going to be episodic. So this first one, from what I've read, it takes about 4 hours. This is the first episode of this. It's $10 for the episode, and then $25 for the full first season. I don't know how many episodes the first season is. However, most of these games tend to be like 3 to 5. Again, that's just a shot in the dark. I haven't read anything to know one way or the other. The other interesting thing is this is fully Oculus and VR ready. So if you are one of the people that are in the Oculus program, or you have an Oculus, you can use it to play this game in VR. I couldn't imagine playing this game with the headset on. It was creepy enough just sitting here live streaming it and trying to, like, with the lights, the little bit of light that I have at my desk, trying to play it. It's super. And with the VR headset, I couldn't imagine trying to just not freak out, because like every time you turn around, you're like not sure what the fuck you're doing, and you're lost. Like you don't know. You're just trying to figure out what's going on. It's really cool. I can't wait to finish this episode and see where they take this series. Go check that out. That comes out in 2 days. Well, it'll be tomorrow by the time this comes out, so Tuesday. Go check out the video, the first 30 minutes. See if you can see what I like. If you feel the same way I feel, it's definitely a scary game without being, one of the tropes, like all the horror games that have been coming out. It's not trying to get jump scares out of you like, Five Nights at Freddy's does, and trying to basically sell the game to streamers to stream. They're making an actual horror game, so go check it out. Albino Lullaby by Ape Law Studios. Totally worth your time. So only a couple early access games came out since the last episode, though. I haven't gotten my hands on too many early access games lately, just because either A, by the time I get to them, the reviews are already terrible. And I have no need at that point to review a terrible game for you, because a bunch of people already did it, or they just don't look interesting enough for me. And since it's only me and I have a limited amount of time, I'm gonna try to keep it to games that I actually think look interesting, or I think other people might find interesting. So I haven't really played many early access games since the last episode. So I'm just trying to get games out there that I think people would like to actually see first looks of, that they would be drawn to. So this game, though, is called Otherland. Now, I actually at first was kind of interested in this game because it's a indie MMO, and I tend to like to see how they do that because of the fact that indie MMOs tend to not be very good, or they can be good, maybe. I haven't seen one, but it's always interesting to me because as an indie massive multiplayer game, you need a lot of people to play it. Hence saying the massive multiplayer portion of that game. I saw this game. It actually came across my email. I had it. I could get a key for this game, and I may, just to see if it warrants the $20 entry fee. So it's $20 for the starter edition. There's a digital deluxe edition. There's a collector's edition. Now it's a action MMORPG based on Tad Williams' novels. I don't know who that is, but you're exploring Mars. It says, embark on exciting adventures in virtual multiverse where you fight the Red Queen's army in the medieval 8 squared, explore Mars, hunt on Bug World, or socialize in the bars of futuristic Lambda. It seems really interesting. So this came out on the 10th. It's got mixed reviews, though. 65% positive out of 124 reviews. And it looks good. It looks like a good, massive multiplayer game. However, the problem I have, like I said, is when you have a $20 price tag on a MMO that's an indie game, it's going to be hard to populate the games themselves. Like populate the servers and everything. So eventually what's going to happen is it's going to be dead. And actually I'm curious, how many people are playing this right now? Steam charts. Otherland. Let's see. Yeah, so right now there is 63 people playing. This was 36 minutes ago. It had 141 was the 24-hour peak, and had 200 all time. Seems like on average it's running 13 players. So I don't know about you, but an MMO with 13 players is not a very good MMO. That is an empty game, and you might as well be playing by yourself. And with the 3 price tags, I don't know what that's all about. Let's see what the difference is. So it looks like it's a bunch of in-game currency. Yeah, the starter edition is the base game, and then the deluxe edition has credits, bits, and extra inventory slots, an extra character slot, which I don't know. One must be a paid currency, one must be a in-game currency. I'm assuming bits are the in-game currency, and the credits are the other one. I don't know. And then the collector's edition has exclusive bar access, which looks like they have their own private bar for people that bought the collector's edition, and then you get more of the in-game stuff. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Bits are, yeah, okay, I was right. Bits are the in-game currency that is collected in quests, and the credits are the ones that you can use to buy vanity items, etc., etc. So the problem I have with this game is that it's an MMO that you're not going to get enough people playing. Like, I don't know why they keep trying to make MMOs like indie MMOs. Maybe they're trying to, catch the next one. But if you're going to make an MMO with microtransactions of any kind, you're not WoW. You don't have the player base to support $20 mounts or purchases like that. So make it free, microtransaction it if you want. Go take a look at Marvel 2015. That game does a really good job of being a free-to-play MMO type of game, and it does really good, and it's a really fun game. So play that. That's what I would recommend. So the next game is this game called The Cursed Forest. Now, this is an indie horror game. It's in early access. It's $10.99, 15% off $9.34. It's got 16 reviews, 81% positive. it's another first-person horror game. It looks interesting. It's got the ambience. It's got everything that you want out of a first-person horror game. It looks scary. It's just, we're just getting so many of these, and I know I just did like a first look of one, but that was more story-driven. So I don't know if this one is, it doesn't seem to have a story. It's just like you're in a forest running from stuff, trying not to get scared. So if it's jump scare heavy, then it's just trying to cash in on all the scary games that are coming out. But I can't pass that much judgment. It seems like people are enjoying it. Let's see. Negative reviews are from people who have 2 products and only 2-3 reviews. Not real gamers. This guy's a fan of horror games. What are the cons? It's buggy, takes a while to load, textures take a while to load. The notes you find in the game are plain text and don't look like they are written on paper. Says it's a great environment, game settings, save points, etc. Guy said he enjoyed the game, but it is short. So, if you want to play another first-person horror game, if that's your genre, go check it out. This is your time on Steam. If you're way into indie games, this is your time. All right, the last game I got is this game called Crash Dummy. It's a 2D platformer. Says it's got numerous and pure mechanics. Blast, burn, and freeze your way through a story-driven adventure with a set of endearing characters. Sounds awesome. It's cute. It's got a cartoony art style. It's $10, but it's 15% off until the 18th for $8.50. You look like you're a crash test dummy, and you're using those kinds of platforming things to get through stuff. So, you're crashing in the walls, you're setting stuff on fire, you're fighting enemies. It looks kind of cute. It has no reviews yet, though. I feel kind of bad for these these guys. I wish there was an easier way for me to tell how many copies they've sold. Maybe I'll reach out to them and take a look at it. I do like myself a good platformer, and it looks like it's competent. I could be wrong. It could just be bad, or maybe just no one wants to play platformers anymore. I'm not sure. It looks interesting though. But yeah, Crash Test Dummy. You can go check that out. All the links are in the show notes for everything. You can go check out the website. I got the first look preview up for the thing that I was trying to remember. I don't know why I went to my dashboard on my website. That's not what I meant to click. No, go to the website. I'm bad at interneting. Yeah, so I have the first look preview of Skyshine's Bedlam up there. I broke down a lot of the mechanics and stuff about the game, stuff that I didn't get to there. You can also go check out the first looks for Super Cane Magic Zero. I will have one up for Albino Lullaby as I get to play a little bit more of it. And I'm trying to think what's up next in my queue as far as coming up for updates. Let me check for you guys. I have a couple older games that I'm going to be getting to that didn't make it through initially through the first run of reviews, because sometimes I get stuff that I get after the fact, and at that point I want to get the newer reviews out, the stuff that's not out yet, to give you guys an idea of what a game that is coming out looks like. So sometimes stuff gets shuffled around and blah blah blah, because doing this shit is a pain in the ass. But that's going to do it for episode 59, guys. As usual, follow me on Twitter, Early Access PC. Go follow the Instagram, Early Access on Instagram. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're not doing that already. Early Access Podcast on YouTube. Check out the Patreon if you want to support the show that way. But the best way to support the show, if you don't want to do the Patreon, is just click through the Amazon banner at the bottom of earlyaccessmedia.com. Bookmark it. Use it whenever you use Amazon. It really does help out the show. And tell a friend. and actually go review the podcast on Steam. I mean, not Steam, on iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Prefer 5 stars, but if you give me less than that, at least give me a reason why. Let me know what I could be doing better. If you have any suggestions for the show or you have any questions for me, email at earlyaccesspodcast.com is how to get in touch with me for the podcast. But that's going to do it, guys. As usual, thank you for listening. This is Angelo with earlyaccessmedia.com. And go check out Skyshine's Bedlam and Wander the Wasteland, because video games. See you guys next time.